I'm Alexa Randall.
I'm Sauna CB.
And we are in Portland, USA, ready for round 12 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship.
Yep, very, very exciting. A new location for Formula E in the US, in Oregon. And this circuit, permanent circuit, has seen so much motorsport over the years. We're talking IndyCar, we're talking NASCAR, but crucially, no Formula E. It's not necessarily a traditional Formula E circuit, so what does that mean? Are we going to see an untraditional Formula E race?
That's what I'm hoping, because there's a lot of buzz around the city for this race weekend. People are really excited to get a feel for what electric racing is like, and I don't blame them with our cars. It's going to be epic.
These cars this season, I mean, why would you not be excited about watching some Formula E action in Portland? And I think that kind of stems into the vibe of the city, which, you'll like this link, you got to experience yourself firsthand, which we will see later on in the show. But what else is coming up as well as that?
Well, of course, we had to catch up with the king of Jakarta, Max Günther, about that incredible weekend last time out.
Yeah, what a legend. We also put your fan questions to Mitch Evans, and we caught up with the two Avalanche and Jeti drivers, Jake Dennis and Andre Lotterer, for another episode of Teammates.
But before all of that, let's recap rounds 10 and 11 with some unplugged shorts, the story of Jakarta.
Juicy.
We know that the next couple of races are going to be very important.
Jakarta Ypres, round 10 of the Formula E World Championship.
With this heat, the double header, it's going to be quite strenuous.
Definitely one of the toughest weekends in our calendar.
Max Günther's on for pole position.
We're just trying to be too clever.
First pole of the season, first pole in my Formula E career.
Every man in the top 6 can, in theory, lead the championship by the end of this weekend. Game on.
Lights out, Formula E is going Jakarta.
Pascal Wehrlein all over the back of Günther.
Man, there is no one slow in this championship. No one.
Cassidy's having a look.
He's down the inside.
Oh!
Yeah, it's not fair. Where was I meant to go?
What the was that?
Oh, with his own teammate.
Again?
That's
Not
the
again.
second time.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry.
This is the last opportunity for Jake Dennis. Pascal Wehrlein takes victory in Jakarta.
There you go, come on, guys.
He just needs to learn mine.
It's the biggest test of the Gen 3 car from a condition standpoint.
Difficult for the battery, the tires.
And Maximilian Günther has taken back-to-back pole positions in Jakarta.
Deja vu, this, isn't it? C2 against Max.
Ready for it?
Moments away from the second race.
Don't worry about the ones behind you. Focus on you.
We gather there's a problem for Sam Bird. Oh, disappointment for Sam. I do feel for him. And it's a good start from Max Günther. Evans taking second place and Mortara behind.
We need Evans out of the way, it's killing us.
Günther having a look down the inside. This is an extremely narrow part of the track.
Oh, look at this battle up front though. Jake Dennis under pressure once again. Oh, problem for Nick Cassidy, the championship leader. Max Günther into the lead in the race. Jake Dennis in second. And now you've got the two battling away here. Günther is in great shape up in front.
Come on, mate. Come on.
But Max Günther comes through to take victory in round 11. Max Günther has had an amazing weekend. Pole in both races, fastest in all sessions.
What a weekend.
What a weekend for Max Günther and Maserati MSG Racing. Their first single-seater World Championship win since Fangio in 1957.
Unbelievably good results for them,
Huge
and needed as well, because this season hasn't really been
tough.
It hasn't been the best, has it? And they've had those sort of glimmers of performance and pace and everything, but tying it all together and leaving a weekend with 2 pole positions, a podium and a race win is an incredibly good performance.
Can't get much better than that.
Can they carry it on? Well, we'll find out this weekend.
I'd love to see it.
So another driver that we need to talk about. We had a very mixed weekend in Jakarta.
And lows.
Highs and lows being optimum. The lows being crashed out by a teammate in the first race. The highs being massively bouncing back and getting some well-needed points and a podium in the second race. We are, of course, talking about Mitch Evans.
Of course.
And we put your fan questions to him, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, it's definitely time for a New Zealand Ypres. Ideally, an Auckland Ypres, I think it would be a perfect city to host us. yeah, I mean, obviously Nick and I are doing well. It's come close a few years ago, but I think now it's time for us to really get down to the shores of New Zealand. In Formula E, probably my first win in Rome was a special one, one that always comes to mind. My worst one, it's been a few as well, but probably my Berlin DNS back in season 7. That one hurt. Probably making the cars faster. To be honest, I think there's so much potential with electric vehicles, and I think we can make these cars a lot quicker, and that's probably the first thing I'll do. I would need Antonio, Nick, Norman, and Stoff. That'd be a lot. It'd be scary. It'd be carnage, but it'd be a lot of fun. I watch a lot because I got a lot of time to kill on flights. I just finished The Inside Man on Netflix, which was amazing. I really enjoyed that. What's more stressful? Yeah, definitely probably a double hitter. A 4-week breakdown sometimes is nice, but obviously it's also like after 2 weeks it's like an itchy feet. But yeah, I think the race weekends are relatively stressful, so probably a double hitter. I picked my race number 9. I've been wanting to change my number since I joined Formula E. 20 was already chosen for me when I signed up back in season 3. My actual numbers that I would like to choose is number 4, but it was not available to me. I think Robin's had it for a while, and the next number is actually number 3, and then number 9, and they've always been chosen. And then number 9 came available for last year, so I opted to change. It's a number I had. My very first number was 99, and I had number 9 back in Formula Ford in New Zealand back in 2009. So it's just it's a number that's been close to me in the past. So I opted to change. I think the best atmosphere that we've experienced. I think Mexico always comes to mind. It's impressive how passionate the fans are. Also, when we went to Jakarta for the first time, they were very passionate. So honestly, we're very fortunate. We get to go to some amazing places that really get behind us. But Mexico and Jakarta really spring to mind.
Thank you very much to Mitch for answering your questions there. Thank you to you for sending the questions in. Now make sure you keep your eyes peeled on the Formula E social media channels so you can find out where you can ask your questions in future races to other drivers.
Before we get on to other drivers, let's chat a little bit more about Mitch, because as he was saying, a season of highs and lows. Could he bring himself back into championship contention this weekend?
I think it's really interesting that we're having to phrase it like that, and we're right to, because it's really just that one race in Jakarta that has taken him a little bit not out of the mix, but more out of the mix. He's now on the back foot slightly, has a lot of work to do.
It'll be tougher, right?
Exactly, to get himself back up into that title contention. But the points are still very much on the cards, and I'll get into this in a little bit more detail shortly in this video in the prediction section, because Mitch Evans could be on for a good one this weekend, and there's a few reasons why, and we'll get more into that. But yeah, we could be looking at a good weekend for Jag and Mitch.
But before we do get on to that, let's chat about the informed man, Mr. Max Gunther of Maserati MSG Racing. I caught up with him earlier this week to find out about how he's feeling about that incredible weekend he had in Jakarta. Max, I've got to start with congratulations on Jakarta. You must be feeling good right about now, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a great weekend for us, and lots of emotions, lots of happiness, and I really enjoyed this moment. Yeah.
But actually, before we get into some more in-depth chat about that, let's throw it back to Berlin and that podium. What was it that changed things for you that weekend? Because it had been a tough season up until that point, and then suddenly you were absolutely flying.
Well, I think it's really this progress that we've had over the whole season, and the season start, especially the first 2 weekends, they've been very tough for us. But then we really regrouped fantastically as a team. You know, we made the car quick from, I would say, India onwards on one lap. And then, yeah, we still had work to do to complete like the whole package and as well to be strong in the race. And yeah, it was just like, you know, step by step, getting better.
Well, going into Jakarta, obviously you have your sim prep before a race. Did you know just how strong your car would be heading into that weekend?
Not as strong, I would say. Obviously we knew that the track is, you know, fitting to our package for sure. Jakarta is a track as well that I like a lot, and yeah, I think it was just all about putting all these little but important details together, and I'm very proud about what we've achieved as a team so far. In all the practice sessions we were fastest, and achieving my first pole position was great on Saturday. Was a good moment, and yeah, but then we really just focus on the job that we had to do, and unfortunately we didn't have enough on Saturday to win against Pascal and Jake. They were just faster, more competitive than us in the race. But yeah, we had some good ideas how to improve for Sunday, and this is what we did. And then to win from pole was fantastic.
And tell me, what was your favourite moment from those celebrations when you finally crossed the line?
At the end, it was just such a long build-up to this moment, and really a lot of hard work, and it was just this next and last step to do, and then to achieve it was a fantastic moment.
It must be really positive and momentum from that weekend coming here to Portland. Do you think your car will suit this track as much as it did in Indonesia?
We're gonna see this weekend. It's always hard to say. I think for sure this track on paper it's looking not so bad for us. This definitely, but the track or this race will be very strategic. It will be a lot about energy saving, to use the slipstream in the good way, and we will see a very, I think, exciting and unpredictable race. And this is what we are prepared for, and looking forward to. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Max. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks to you.
Thank you, Max. Nice little chat there. Well done, Alexa.
Thank you.
Now, I think he's going to have a lot of confidence going into this weekend, because he was absolutely flying in Jakarta.
I think that momentum's going to be great for him here, coming off the back of such a successful weekend. Surely he's one to be looking out for.
Yeah, absolutely. But can they match that on a new circuit?
It's a high standard. Which
might be energy hungry. I mean, we'll get all into that in a little bit. But let's talk about where we're racing. A new city, Portland, Oregon. You had the chance to explore a little. Should we take a look?
I think we should. For the first time on the Formula E calendar, we're in Portland, Oregon in the United States of America. This is a city surrounded by coastline, lakes and mountains, known for its weird and innovative art scene and beautiful bike routes. Portland has so much to offer, loads of quirkiness, character, a great food scene and lots of beautiful parks. This is Portland Discovered. The Pioneer Courthouse Square is often referred to as the local living room by the people who live right here in Portland. And when you're here, it's easy to see why. There's a really chilled atmosphere in this beautiful brick-lined square. The history of it dates back to the 1800s, and it's named after the Pioneer Courthouse just to my right. The square plays host to plenty of cool events like movie screenings and live music. There's even public artwork, including the Allow Me life-size statue. Washington Park, kind of where the city meets the forest. It's home to this iconic rose test garden, as well as Portland Zoo and 12 miles of hiking trails, which I don't think I'll be doing in these boots, but if you need some time out from the hustle and bustle of the city, this is the place to be. Running with the theme of Keep Portland Weird, it only felt right that we came and visited the freaky but true Peculiarium. This is a museum that features the downright crazy, weird and funky stuff that you can find in Portland. Let's go check it out. This place was established in 1972 and is filled with crazy optical illusions, unusual musical instruments like this. I'm not sure about that one. And of course, has even been visited by our good friend Bigfoot. He really is quite big, isn't he? This is also one of the only places in Portland you're able to get a bug sundae or a bug cookie. Don't really know if they're for me, but I did find this unidentified free sample. I'm willing to give it a go for you guys. Suspiciously crunchy. That's not good. That's not good. Now this is more my kind of food spot. Founded right here in Portland, Voodoo Donuts is the place to come if you want a donut the size of your head. 50 different flavors on offer, and if you're vegan, Do not worry, they have 25 flavours for you too, with queues around the block. It's a pretty exclusive look we're going to get inside. So let's go choose ourselves a flavour. And finally, we're at the Tom McCall Waterfront Park, which is the perfect place to end our day because we're just next to the Willamette River, which is an amazing green space now in the city where it used to actually be a hustling, bustling highway. Instead, 36 acres of green space. So it's a really good place to come for a bike, a cycle, or even we saw someone unicycling earlier. So if you need someone to chill at the end of the day, this is your spot. So as we've seen, there is absolutely tons to discover in Portland. But if you're not here with us this weekend and you want to follow along with all of the action from home, go to fiaformulary.com/watch to find out more.
Well, that looked pretty fun. What an interesting city. Highlight?
There's so many highlights of this city. It's quirky, it's fun. There's a reason their slogan is Keep Portland Weird. We went to a load of green spaces, and that's really nice with how much they focused on developing that in the city. But Saunders, the donuts.
Okay.
We have to talk about the donuts.
Right.
I think I ate my body weights in them. It was sensational. I had such a blast.
That's just a very US thing, isn't it? You come here and there's all this lovely tasty food and you want to get involved, but I am with you. I don't think these clothes will fit in 4 days' time. We'll find out.
I think that's part of the plan in America. You have to eat your body weight.
Okay, fair enough. Now, moving on from that, let's talk about a team where this is a big weekend for them. We are, of course, talking about Avalanche Andretti, because that Andretti name, it's an institution in racing in the US. It's such a big thing, especially a circuit like this, which has seen IndyCar in the past, Andretti being synonymous with IndyCar.
Of course.
So with that in mind, we caught up with the two Avalanche Andretti drivers, Jake Dennis and Andre Lotterer, for our latest edition of Teammates.
So brother, nice to have you back. You obviously strategically chose Le Mans over Jakarta. It was incredibly hot. But yeah, back in Portland, home race for us. Happy to be back.
Yeah, very happy to be back. I was actually sad to miss out, you know, but it's what I had to do. For Porsche, it was the priority to prepare Le Mans, and the weekend was quite impressive, you know, centenary, a lot of people, it was a big race, but yeah, back on the mission here. So home race for the team, and you're fighting for the championship, so hopefully you can do something good here. Yeah, it's great to be in Portland, be in the States so far. It's a great day, we've done a lot, the cable car, we went to the stadium, we watched the game, so support the Timbers, you know, obviously home race here for us, so trying to get some support, right?
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit. You know, I think training with professionals at football today was pretty cool at the headquarters facilities. I mean, it's pretty impressive what they can do with football compared to what we could do.
Yeah,
but,
torque when they shoot on the power is like.
So a lot better than us. We're definitely better at racing cars, but yeah, it's been a good day. It's nice to actually see the city a bit, and you know, not just see the racetrack. But yeah, obviously, ultimately now I've got to do the job at the racetrack from now on in, and at least the weather's good, and yeah, the sun's shining, so it's been a good day so far.
And I hit the crossbar, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Even though you were meant to get it in at that point.
No, it was already the crossbar challenge.
It's obviously a new track in Portland and completely different to actually what we're normally used to, I would say. You know, we're normally used to these street circuits.
Yeah.
And here we're obviously on an IndyCar circuit, very fast, highest top speeds of the year. What do you think? How's the preparation gone for us, do you think, so far?
Yeah, been interesting preparation. I've been watching some onboard from the IndyCar. It was quite impressive, just to see how the track goes around. It's very unusual to be on such a big circuit. So qualifying is going to be fun, I think, quite high speeds. But the race, on the other hand, is going to be really challenging with all the lifting we have to do, and it's going to be very, very strategic. So a bit difficult to predict how that's going to end up, because the lifting we're going to do is quite a lot. So yeah, you've been hitting some great results, 4 consecutive podiums. Another win would be good. I hope I can join you on the podium too.
Yeah, it's been a while since Mexico with the win. You know, we've had a lot of podiums now. We've had a total of 7, and yeah, it's obviously great to have all the podiums in a row and obviously score these big points. But ultimately, I really want to try and win this weekend for the team, and obviously try and get you to join me on the podium. I think we definitely have the package for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, the race isn't going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of overtaking. I think the most we'll see all season as well. I think we'll even beat Berlin in terms of overtaking numbers. And I don't think qualifying will mean all that much. I think you can still win the race from outside the top 15. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting race, great for the fans. And yeah, it's going to be a lot like cycling with the peloton, you know, people staying in the toes, slipstreaming, and if we can do that the best, then it's going to be a last lap dash. I think towards the end is where has the most energy, and I think even the start line this weekend is so late on. You can actually overtake before the line. So yeah, it won't be over until it's over. Until it's over, really. So yeah, very exciting.
It's going to be spectacular.
So yeah, let's get it done. Obviously, team home race. We need a big result for both of us, and let's try and get a double podium, bro.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
Thank you so much to Jake and Andre for that. Now, Saunders, you teased it earlier. It's the beefy bit of the show. We got to talk predictions for this weekend.
Okay, let's get into it. I kind of alluded to a bit of insight earlier, which you're going to get. But the way I want to do it is we'll talk about the standings, the driver standings where they are at the moment.
Let's run.
Yeah, so let's talk about Pascal Wehrlein to begin with. I might be being a bit bold saying this, but I don't think this is a return to form. I think it's almost like a blip of performance.
Hot take.
Yeah, I just think even though that was a really good first race in Jakarta and there were points in the second race, I just don't think all of their problems are solved yet. But the benefit they do have is that Porsche powertrain is a very efficient powertrain, is able to push later in the races, and that is going to be crucial here because this is going to be an energy hungry race circuit. It's very long, it's very long fast straights, way more runoff, so you can take more speed into corners with less, consequence. So that could work in his favour, and obviously that ties into Avalanche Andretti, who have the same car. Difference being, Jake Dennis is on a much more consistent run of form.
Yeah, he's looking very impressive at the moment.
Yeah, exactly, looking really, really good. He hasn't had a win since that one a long time ago, right at the start of the season, but there's been quite a few podiums and he's still keeping himself up there in contention.
That's what he needs to do, that consistency.
Exactly, and this weekend there's the extra incentive because of the Andretti thing, because of that home race for them. It's going to be so important to put a good showing here in front of the bosses, in front of the fans that will undoubtedly from Portland already be aware of Andretti, maybe even have a lot of Andretti fans here.
Be cool to see.
That's going to be a factor. We have to talk about Nick Cassidy because how can we not? I think that on the opposite way of Pascal Wehrlein, Jakarta was just a blip. I think he's been too consistent on different racetracks and different styles of racing this season for that not just to be a little bit of bad luck or a tough weekend. Exactly. I think he could do well here. Mitch Evans, and I mentioned earlier, for the same reason as the Porsche powertrain drivers, with an energy-hungry circuit like this, it's going to really help to have a car that you can just trust to push with and be able to not have to save earlier in the race. And I think this is going to be one of those races where people don't want to lead in the first half.
Ooh, that could make quali interesting too.
It could make quali interesting. So I think that's what we're going to see. Final few points on Mitch Evans as well, because the car's going to help here for sure. Having that trust, that ability to push later in the race.
He's comfortable with that car now.
He's comfortable. That first race in Jakarta was really not ideal for anyone in Jaguar or Mitch Evans, but the pace is still there, the performance is still there, and I think this is a track that could suit how their car's been doing. The other thing to talk about with Formula E is all of this could mean absolutely nothing if there's a big incident earlier in the race and it kind of changes the strategy, but just going on consistency alone, that's my shout for that kind of top 3-4 drivers.
Well, I also want to bring up Mr. Jean-Eric Vergne because he's just sitting outside of championship contention. I'd say maybe still in there, but he's always been good. Actually, no, he is the best at the brand new circuits this season. So, maybe someone to look out for, as we've never raced in Portland before.
You know what? That's a very good shout. I'm going to take it one step further. I actually think that's a trend that stretches more than this season.
Yes.
I think Jean-Eric Vergne in general is good at new circuits, and how can you blame him? The guy's got loads of experience. He's the only driver to have won 2 championships in Formula E. So you would think, when you're talking about getting up to speed quickly with a track,
out of anyone,
you'd put your money on someone that's won 2 championships, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
So yeah, there you go. That's just a few thoughts prediction-wise.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much, Saunders, and thank you so much for watching. All of the racing action gets underway on Friday. I, for one, cannot wait.
Get yourself strapped in. It's going to be a good one.